Hey everyone. So we're all caught in this massive tug of war, right? On one side, you've got this relentless push from our jobs for machine like speed and automation. And on the other side, there's our very human need to do work that actually feels meaningful without completely burning ourselves out. So the big question is, how do we possibly thrive in this paradox?
So let's just break this down. It's this crazy clash of ideas. On the one hand, you have the new corporate mandate maximize all possible automation. Basically, try to get a machine to do it before you even think about hiring a person. But on the other hand, you have this very human philosophy that says the key to real accomplishment is to actually do fewer things. Now, these two ideas seem like they're from different planets, but what if they're not? All right, so first up, let's talk about the force that's just completely reshaping our work lives at an incredible speed, this corporate obsession with optimization, which has really given birth to what we now call the AI first company. And look, AI first isn't just about, your company handing out a few AI tools and calling it a day. No, this is a total strategic overhaul. It means that AI becomes the default starting point for every single decision, from what you build to how you run the company and even who you hire. It's a fundamental rewiring of the entire business. And you might be thinking this is some far off futuristic concept, but it's happening right now. Back in 2016, this was a visionary idea from Google. But fast forward to today, and it's official policy at major companies like Duolingo and Shopify. They've literally told their teams, you have to prove AI can't do a job before we'll even let you hire a person for it. The shift is here. This whole obsession with optimization, it's not actually new. It connects perfectly with a really powerful management philosophy that came way before AI, called the theory of constraints. And its core idea is so simple but so profound. Your entire system, your whole company, can only perform as well as its single biggest bottleneck, its weakest link. Okay, so here's the playbook for that. Step one, you find that one weak link, that single constraint holding everything back. Step two, you exploit it. You squeeze every single ounce of performance you can out of it just as it is. Then, step three, you subordinate everything else. You make sure no other part of the system is overwhelming that bottleneck. If it's still the problem, that's when you elevate it. You invest time, money, whatever it takes. And finally, you start all over again. Because as soon as you fix one bottleneck, a new one always appears. It's just a cycle of constant improvement.
Okay, so that's the system, right? This relentless push for machine like efficiency. But what happens when you try to apply that same logic to the messy, creative, unpredictable world of human knowledge work? Well, a lot of the time it backfires spectacularly. It leads to the complete opposite of what's intended, the burnout backlash.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? Your day is just this absolute whirlwind. Your calendar is a wall of meetings. Your inbox is exploding. You're constantly jumping between Slack, email, and a dozen other apps. And then you get to the end of the day. You're totally wiped out. And you think to yourself, what did I actually do today? You can't point to a single meaningful thing you created. Well, guess what? There's a name for that feeling. It's called pseudo-productivity. It is the trap we all fall into because for knowledge work, it's hard to measure what productive actually looks like. So what do? We default to what's visible. We answer emails immediately, we show up to every meeting, we keep our little green light on in Slack. We mistake all this shallow activity for real progress, and it is absolutely burning us out. And I love this quote from Cal Newport because it just hits the nail on the head. He calls these little reactive tasks productivity termites. Think about that. One or two seem harmless, right? But enough of them and they are silently eating away at the entire foundation of your focus, completely destroying your ability to do the deep, meaningful work that actually matters. So, if that's the problem, what's the antidote? How do we fight back against this constant anxious busyness? Well, there's this really powerful and kind of counterintuitive philosophy designed to do exactly that. It's called slow productivity. Principle number one, and it's the big one. Do fewer things. Look, this isn't about being lazy or achieving less. It's about finally admitting that our attention is a finite resource. By being absolutely ruthless about what you say yes to, you can finally dedicate the kind of focus it takes to produce truly exceptional work on the few things that really matter. Number two is to work at a natural pace. I mean, think about it. Our brains just aren't built to sprint at top speed 8-10 hours a day. It's not sustainable. An athlete gets this, right? They have intense training seasons, but they also have off seasons to recover. This principle says we should treat our work the same way, with intense periods of focus balanced out by slower, more recuperative phases. And finally, number three, obsess over quality. This is the real game changer. This is how you break the cycle. When you shift your focus away from the volume of things you're doing and onto the excellence of what you're producing, you create leverage. Doing a few things incredibly well is what gives you the professional credibility to start saying no, to take control of your schedule, and to finally escape that trap of pseudo-productivity. And let's be super clear here. This has nothing to do with quiet quitting or, just not wanting to work hard. Slowing down is not about protesting work. It's about being more strategic, more intentional, and ultimately finding a much better and more sustainable way to get it done. Okay, so this is where it all comes together. The big question, right? How in the world do you merge these two completely opposite ideas? How can you be a slow, thoughtful, focused individual when you're working inside a fast, hyper-optimized organization? Well, the key is to apply these slow principles as your own personal strategy. And probably the single most powerful tool to do this is something called time blocking. Now, this is way, way different from a to-do list. A to-do list just tells you what you have to do, which means you're constantly in this reactive mode, deciding what's next. A time block plan is proactive. It dictates when you will do specific work, giving every single minute of your day a job. So why does this work so well? Well, it all comes down to a little bit of neuroscience and this concept called attention residue. It turns out every single time you switch from one task to another, a part of your brain's attention gets left behind, still thinking about the last thing you were doing. This means you're never giving your full cognitive power to the new task. Multitasking is a total myth. It's just switching back and forth really, really inefficiently. And that's where time blocking is your secret weapon. It eliminates that constant mental battle of, what should I do next? It gets rid of that attention residue, which lets you achieve real, deep focus. And, maybe most importantly, it forces you to be brutally honest about how much you can actually get done in a day. It is how you manage your own personal bottleneck, your own limited time and attention. So, let's tie this all back to where we started, the AI-first company. If we start using these techniques like time blocking to free up our brain power from the shallow stuff, what should we be using that brain power for? What's our most valuable role in this new automated world? And this quote from Jakob Nielsen, I think it just says it all. AI first does not mean AI only. As AI starts to take over all the repetitive, predictable work, the execution, the value of our uniquely human skills just skyrockets. Our most important jobs are going to be the ones that require judgment, strategic thinking, creativity, and persuasion. This autonomy ladder is a fantastic way to picture how this plays out. As AI climbs this ladder, from just giving us suggestions at level A0 to completely self-optimizing at A5, our job fundamentally changes. We're not the doers anymore. We become the auditors, the strategists, the referees. We set the goals, and we know when to pull the plug. The more autonomous the AI gets, the more critical our human oversight becomes. And that brings us to the final, kind of mind-bending thought here. In a world that's obsessed with AI-driven speed and optimization, maybe, just maybe, our most valuable, most critical, and most uniquely human skill isn't learning how to speed up with the machines. Maybe it's mastering the art of slowing down, to focus, to think deeply, and to provide the kind of wisdom and judgment that no machine ever will.
Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss future videos on AI, productivity, and smarter workflows. Also, I'd love to hear what's working for you. Leave a comment below if you're already using AI in your workflow or have some questions.